Hey guys, we're going to talk about reference angles and how to solve for them. So this says I went around 360 degrees plus 30 more. So the actual angle is 390 degrees. However, when we plug this into our calculator, it's useless. So what we can plug in is anywhere between 0 to 360 degrees. So this 390 is the same value as 90 degrees or 30 degrees. So when I plug into my calculator, I'm going to use this reference angle to plug in, not this 390. This one says I'm going to go around 360 plus 90 plus 80. When I do that, I get 530, which is great and all, but we went the opposite direction. Because we went in the opposite direction, it's actually negative 530. So this actual angle is 530 degrees. So how do we find theta when it's trapped in this tangent? So what I did was I plugged in the square root of 3 in my calculator and then times it by negative 4. When I did that, I got negative 12 tan of theta is equal to negative 6.9. Then this is just a multiplication problem, so I'm going to divide by negative 12 to both sides. And I get tan of theta is equal to 0.57. To get rid of this tangent, I'm going to do arc tan to both sides. Arctan and tan cross each other out, and I'm just left with theta. Arctan is just a function on my calculator that I pushed and then entered this number, and I got 30 degrees. For this one, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, and I get sine of theta is equal to 0. To get rid of sine, I'm going to do arc sine to both sides. Again, this is just a function on my calculator that I pressed was 0. Arc sine and sine cancel. I'm left with theta, and arc sine of 0 was 0. For this one, I literally just plugged in root 2 in my calculator and then divided it by negative 2. When I did that, I got negative 0.707 is equal to negative 1/2 secant of theta. I'm going to divide by negative 1/2, which is the same as multiplying by the inverse. So negative 2 over 1. So I just flipped this fraction. Two negatives make a positive. 2 times 0.77 gave me 1.414. Divided by 1 is still just this. And I got secant of theta. Well, secant theta is the same as 1 over, and the opposite of secant is cosine. Okay? I'm going to multiply cosine up here. And then divide by 1.14. Okay? And then my last step is to do arc cosine to both sides. That will make this cancel and leave me just with theta. And then the arc sine of cosine of 1 over 1.14 I found to be 44.999. So I'm guessing my rounding here, it should have gotten me to 45 degrees. Okay, so my reference angle is going to be this 450 minus 360. And then I get 90 degrees. And then I'm going to just do cosine. Theta is 90 degrees. And when I do that, I get 0. This next one, it went around 360. That's to here. I get 480. and then it went around again to here. So I'm going to subtract another 360. I get 120. So this angle right here is actually 120 instead of this 840 to plug in. Instead of secant, I'm going to do 1 over cosine of 120. So I literally plug this into my calculator, and then I find out that theta is equal to -2, or this angle is -2. Okay? They want us to find all the missing parts. So find this angle, find here, and find here. So the easiest one is to find the measure of angle A. A triangle adds up to 180 degrees, minus 90 from C, minus 39 from B. So measure of angle A comes out to be 51 degrees. Then I can use that to find our hypotenuse. So let's find our hypotenuse. So that would be sine of 51 degrees is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. We don't know what hypotenuse is, so I'm going to put in x. So when I do that, I get 0.77 from my calculator. Multiply the x up. Divide the 0.77. When I do that, I get a measure of 15.6. So this is 15.6. Okay? To find this last one, I can do my Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared, which is equal to c squared. A squared is 12.1 squared. We don't know b squared yet. And c squared is our hypotenuse squared. Plug that in. This squared comes out to 146.4 plus b squared is equal to this squared. I got 242.4. I'm going to subtract this from this side over. When I do that, I get 96. To get rid of this square, I square root. And b is equal to 9.8. So this side is 9.8. Again, let's find the angle B is 180 minus 90 minus 60. So angle B is equal to 30 degrees. Okay? Let's solve this a different way than sine. So we used sine on the previous problem. Let's use cosine for this one. So cosine would mean that we are going to do the 60, and we're going to do adjacent over hypotenuse. So let's do cosine 60 and then it's going to be 13 over hypotenuse. Could I use sine? Could I use tangent? Yes, I'm just doing different examples for you guys. So cosine of 60, I got 0.5. Multiply by x. Divide by 1/2. And I find that x is equal to 26. So our hypotenuse is 26. So then we do our Pythagorean theorem to find the last side. So it would be a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So I get 169 plus b squared is equal to 676. I'm going to subtract the 169 over, and I get 507. And then to get rid of this square, I square root, and b is equal to 22.5. All right, let me know if you have any questions.